Present. Present.
Would you please bow with me for a word of prayer? Our Father, today these men and women and their families have reached a milestone as we come to graduate this recruit class. In just a few moments, they will be vested with power and authority over the citizens of this great state. May they always recognize your guidance in their daily discharge of their duties. May your presence be with them as they protect and serve. May your blessing be upon us all in these ceremonies. May we never forget the strength that is ours through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Please be seated. The Honorable Lieutenant Governor Frank O'Bannon, Chief Justice Randall Shepard, Superintendent Lloyd Jennings, Colonel James Hollingsworth, Lieutenant Colonels Larry Delaney and Jack Martin, Indiana Law Enforcement Academy Director Charles Birch, George Gardner, Board President, Dr. Lamoureux, distinguished guests and friends, I present to you the 54th Recruit Academy of the Indiana State Police. During the past 21 weeks, the members of this class excelled academically and physically. They have worked diligently to uphold the standards of excellence expected of them by receiving hundreds of hours of instruction designed to prepare them for their next training phase as probationary officers. This class excelled in numerous facets of their training, and all families and friends should be proud of their accomplishments and professionalism just as we are proud of each one of them. It is now my privilege to introduce the Superintendent of the Indiana State Police, Lloyd R. Jennings. Lloyd R. Jennings was born June 14, 1942, in Converse, Indiana. He studied at the Northwestern Traffic Institute and later received both his Bachelor of Science and Master's degrees from Indiana University. From 1964 to 1974, he was a trooper at Lafayette District. He began moving through the ranks from sergeant to the Enforcement Division to lieutenant and assistant commander of the Motor Carrier Enforcement Section. Then he progressed to the assistant commander of the Enforcement Division. Lieutenant Jennings later became captain and commander of the Motor Carrier Enforcement Section. He was then promoted to major as commander of the Records Division from 1981 to 1985. Over the next 3 years, he served as deputy superintendent for several divisions of the state police. He served first as lieutenant colonel and deputy superintendent for data and communications. His next position was as deputy superintendent for support services. Also during this time, he was acting deputy superintendent for special operations. The last responsibility held before being appointed superintendent was deputy superintendent for field enforcement. On January 9, 1989, Lieutenant Colonel Lloyd R. Jennings was appointed superintendent of the Indiana State Police. Ladies and gentlemen, Superintendent Jennings.
Good morning. I'd like to take a couple of minutes to talk to the recruits, if I may. Please listen in, but the remarks are mainly for them. They're the ones that are taking on this awesome responsibility. On July 22nd, 1996, 934 people applied to become state troopers for the Indiana State Police Department. Today, you are the 51 that are remaining because you have accepted the challenge and you have achieved the success of being graduated from our academy. Over the past several weeks, you've been given a great deal of information about all aspects of law enforcement. You've also learned what extra will be expected of you because you are going to be an Indiana State Trooper. State Police history is enveloped in the lives of people who were drawn to this department because of the prestige and the rich heritage of the Indiana State Police Department. Those officers, just like yourselves, underwent rigorous physical training and mental preparedness necessary to become troopers. And then they went out into the state to uphold and even raise the department onto another plateau in the history of this agency. Now it's your turn. You're to carry on and to build on the heritage that goes before you. Like your successors or predecessors, you have earned the privilege to wear the badge and the uniform of an Indiana State Police Trooper. Honor them. Hold them to the highest esteem possible. Although you have learned that the uniform does not make the person, but the person inside the uniform makes the uniform, this uniform has become a symbol of fairness and honesty that has placed it not only at the top of Indiana law enforcement, but in national law enforcement as well. It is now your responsibility not to tarnish that. Now is the time when your training for the past 21 weeks takes over. Your ability to build on the information presented to you in the classroom and apply it to the real-life situations that will determine your success in the next year. My wish and that of my staff is to see each one of you successfully complete your field training program as probationary troopers. But it is now up to you to take your place as Indiana State Troopers. You will help decide what history will be left for those that will follow you, just as you had set a new standard for the next recruit class and all those classes to follow. Serve your fellow citizens with honor. Be fair. Be an example. We have trained you to be leaders. Go forward in the fine tradition of the Indiana State Police Department. You represent and symbolize the history, the present, and the future. Congratulations on completing the training, and good luck, and I wish you all well on your upcoming careers. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you our speaker for today. It is Lieutenant Governor O'Bannon, who is the governor-elect of the state of Indiana.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Superintendent Jennings, Chief Justice Shepard, distinguished guests, and certainly the 54th class of the Indiana State Police. And to all of you who are here for the first time, welcome to the Indiana State Capitol building. Restored about 8 or 9 years ago, over 100 years old, this building. But it is a symbol. It is a symbol of our state community that holds us together, our state community that makes it very important that we all have the opportunities here in this state, and also a state community that is safe. And that's what this ceremony is all about. Today is a very, very important time in your lives as you graduate today, and certainly to the lives of your families. Today you join a very elite organization, and that's the Indiana State Police. As Indiana's next governor, I'm proud of the state police. The Indiana State Police are known for doing the job and doing the job well. I challenge you to carry on that tradition. The tradition of one of the finest and most respected police forces in the country. No, from most of us, as we've lived here, and when we're stopped by a state trooper, we are not concerned about being treated roughly or rudely. We know we will be safe, and I'm proud of that, and I know you will work to carry on that reputation. Next month, there will be a change in the leadership of the Indiana State Police. Superintendent Lloyd Jennings is retiring, and his record is one of success. Let me just take a moment to speak of some of those successes and accomplishments under his leadership. We have more police officers on the street and on the roads than ever in the history of the Indiana State Police. The Indiana State Police became one of the few accredited police agencies in this state. Went through a rigorous process, and one which Lloyd Jennings and his officers had the mettle to accomplish. For 3 years in a row, Indiana led the nation in the eradication of marijuana in this state with the cooperation of the Indiana National Guard. And not without merit was a new pay matrix established so we could offer a more competitive compensation package, better pay. As you know, I announced earlier this week that Mel Caraway will replace Superintendent Jennings, and I'm confident that Mel will build on these accomplishments and lead the state police to even greater successes. The challenge you will face as police officers are greater than ever before. Criminals are using modern technology like cellular phones and beepers to aid in their efforts. And they use computers to aid them in committing theft electronically. And worst of all, they use assault weapons. But there is room for hope. For the first time in nearly a decade, violent juvenile crime and juvenile murder rates are down. In fact, we have seen the number of murders committed by juveniles decline for 2 consecutive years. However, population experts tell us we'll soon see a boom in the number of crime-age juveniles. So even with the rate declining, we're likely to see an increase in the number of crimes committed due to the increase in the juvenile population. Fortunately, we have not been standing idly by. We have increased the capacity of our juvenile male correctional facilities, and we're planning 350 additional spaces, which will raise our capacity from 300 in 1988 to over 1,000 in 1997. It's so important that the juveniles not be housed with the older adult prison people. And at the same time, we've increased our adult prison spaces by nearly 5,000. In addition, we've begun the site preparation of another 2,500 bed new prison cells at Grissom Air Force Base. But we've also doubled the capacity of the Law Enforcement Training Academy, the academy that you proudly leave today. We are able to train the new police officers that President Clinton's COPS program has provided for Indiana, and hopefully a new program that we'll have here in Indiana. And this guarantees that we do send a clear message to would-be violent offenders. We are putting officers on the street to apprehend them, and we have the prison cells to put them in. As governor, as the next governor, I've proposed that we put another 500 new city and county police on the streets. We're going to fund that training and the salaries of those new officers by assessing a $25 fine on persons convicted of breaking the law. Studies show that if one new officer can prevent 4 crimes a week, that's 200 crimes prevented in a year. 500 new officers working the streets could prevent 100,000 crimes. It just being there that the crime doesn't happen. I think we could even maybe do better than that. But preventing 100,000 crimes in this state will save millions in victim losses. Preventing crime is very important, but we need to do more than just to prevent crime. We need to have early intervention, help the youth before they get in trouble with the law. We need boot camp, new boot camp space, add another 1 or 2 boot camps for nonviolent juvenile offenders to help turn their lives around, and it works. I propose also significantly expanding the alternative or the discipline schools for kids that really have trouble and are disruptive in our high schools. We can help them with the discipline problems. And these costs aren't cheap. We're talking about over $25 million a year to set up these tough discipline schools. But it is an investment in the future of both these troubled kids and in safer communities. As I've said, you can't rest on our laurels. Crime is still far too high. A decline from last year or the year before certainly does not bring us down near far enough, as we all know. We want to force crime, violence, and drug abuse to the lowest levels. As governor, I'll need your help. You are an important part of our plan. Together we can make Indiana a safer place for our children and for our children's children. And together we can make Indiana the best it can be. Congratulations to all of you.
Honorable Randall Shepard, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States, will now administer the oath to the new officers.
The men and women who serve the people of Indiana as judges welcome the 54th class to public service. And if the members of the class would now stand and raise your right hand and repeat after me I will administer your oath of office. I do solemnly swear that I will support, protect, and defend.
I do solemnly swear that I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America.
the Constitution and laws of the United States of America.
And the Constitution and laws of the State of Indiana.
And the Constitution and laws of the State of Indiana.
Against all enemies, foreign or domestic.
Against all enemies, foreign or domestic.
And that I will faithfully and justly discharge the duties.
And I will faithfully and justly discharge the duties
Of an officer of the Indiana State Police Department.
as an officer in the Indiana State Police Department.
According to the best of my ability.
According to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations and good luck. You may be seated.
The next thing we will do is present the Superintendent's Award. This award is given annually to the recruit with the best overall performance in the class. To determine the rating, the recruits are scored in the following categories: academics, firearms, emergency driving, defensive tactics, physical training, and merit. And I like the way they always give me the recruit that has the easiest name to pronounce to get this award. This year, award goes to Thomas Dumovich. The next award is the John E. Hatfull Memorial Award. Sergeant Hatfull was killed in the line of duty on April 13, 1987 in Posey County, Indiana. He was leading an emergency response team in the apprehension of an armed suicidal subject when he was shot. Sergeant Hatfull had been a team leader of the emergency response team since 1975. He was a member of the state pistol team and an avid shooter, including competition at the Olympic trials. The John E. Hatfull Memorial Award is presented to the recruit with the best overall shooting proficiency in the class. It is my privilege to call Mrs. Mickey Hatfull, her son Jay, and her daughter Renee up to the platform to make the presentation.
Good morning. This is the last time we will be coming to Indianapolis in this capacity to give the John Hatfull Memorial Award. We would like to thank the Indiana State Police, the State Police Alliance, and the Pioneers, and Major Medler, who has kept us organized throughout all these years. We would like to acknowledge District 35, the Evansville District, for their kindness to our family. And I would like to thank my children. They were dealt a traumatic blow at a young time in their lives. Although we are grateful for the time shared with John, of course we wish it could have been longer. Renee lives in Nashville, Tennessee, and she has served her country for 4 years in the Air Force and has decided to go back to school in January. Jay graduated from Vincennes University with a degree in law enforcement and is now attending Indiana State University in Terre Haute. And both children are gainfully employed, which is every parent's wish. I am very proud of my children, and I know that John would be proud of them also. Today, we are here to celebrate your graduation and your new beginning. We hope that this trip will be the best of all journeys. May each of you have a long, fulfilling, and worthwhile career. If policing is not for you, may you have the wisdom to choose another avenue. May the brass know when to give you a pat on the back and when to help you with constructive criticism. May we never, ever go to a memorial ceremony and hear your name called. May God bless each and every one of you, and please keep you safe. On behalf of our family, we present the John Hatfield Memorial Award to a PO who is coming to Evansville. Congratulations to Robert L. Dillon II.
Blackburn. Her badge will be presented by her father, retired Sergeant Dan Blackburn of the Terre Haute District. Stacy L. Brown. Jason D. Carmen. His badge will be presented by his father-in-law, Sergeant Pat O'Connor of the Peru District. Brent D. Clark. Sheila M. Cridlin. Wayne L. Davis. Stephen D. Dean, Jr. His badge will be presented by his father, Sergeant Stephen Dean, Sr. Robert L. Dellon II. Brian R. Dormer. Timothy M. Dossett. Thomas M. Dumovich. Jason R. Duncan. Daniel D. Elmore. Jason M. Ballstitch. J. Aaron Gall. Blaze T. Jedre. Sean Carey Gent. Cecilia J. Gibbons. Paul R. Hansard. Ryan J. Harmon. Brent D. Johnson. Benjamin J. Jones III. Trent A. Kiefer. Anthony J. Klettheimer. Leonard W. Langland. Alan T. Lehman. Danny R. Madison, Jr. Stephen P. Malone. His badge will be presented by his father, retired First Sergeant Thomas P. Malone of Fort Wayne Lab. Vincent L. Mansfield. Matthew A. Marshall. Chad E. Maxwell. Christopher M. McDaniel. Larry C. Moat. His badge will be presented by his father, Senior Trooper Larry E. Moat of Area 1. Robert W. Murray II. Stephen L. Nash. Jason P. Owen. Michael R. Robinson. Laura L. Rouse. Aaron J. Ripma. Anthony M. Scott. Stefan J. Smeltsley. Frederick M. Stevens. Eric O. Strevel. Gary R. Falls. Joseph Torres. Kimberly R. Wall. Please give them a round of applause for everyone in the class. The class will participate in this ceremony by having a representative elected by his classmates address the assembly. I now introduce to you Trooper Vincent L. Mansfield of the 54th Recruit Class. Trooper Mansfield.
Guests and families, welcome today to a proud moment for all of us. Speaking as a class representative, I've been asked to share a few thoughts and feelings with you concerning the past 21 weeks of our lives as recruits at the 54th Recruit Class. I want to say something today that's going to speak to all of you who are gathered here, our families and the troopers of the department who have sworn the oath that we have just taken. To all of you, we, the 54th Recruit Class, simply say, thank you, we accept. On July 22nd, 60 eager individuals from all over Indiana and 3 other states convened in Plainfield to begin 21 weeks of rigorous training. The moment we walked through the doors of the academy, the staff and the counselors not only taught us what it was to be a trooper, they showed us by their example. During those 21 weeks, we heard a lot about motivation, dedication, determination, and inspiration. But at times, all we could muster was frustration. The road hasn't been easy, and most of you know that. And we have lost some cadets along the way. During one of our classes after lunch, we had one cadet raise his hand to go to the bathroom, and he never came back. I think maintenance is still looking for him. In order to develop us, the staff pushed our bodies and our minds to the limit and sometimes beyond. Through it all, though, we have truly learned that excellence only comes through discipline. We started this school as individuals from diverse backgrounds, but as we leave here today as troopers, we have a unified purpose and challenge. Throughout the school, the staff has repeatedly thanked us for our dedication and effort, whether in the gym, the classroom, or in specialized training. And to the staff and counselors who have prepared us for this day, we as a class simply want to say to you, thank you, we accept. We accept the challenge of living up to the reputation of Indiana State Troopers. Now I'd like to say a word to the families who are gathered here today. There are many of you who have traveled a long way to be here. Many of you have taken time off of work to share these moments with us. This shouldn't be surprising, though, because what you're doing today is what you've done the whole time we've been here. You've believed in us, and you've supported us. I know I speak for the majority of the cadets when I say that we live for weekends. Week after week, we left the academy physically and emotionally drained. Many of us went home and sat down to a home-cooked meal where we were actually allowed to leave the table before we finished chewing. We went home with bags of dirty laundry that were cleaned and ready to go back with us on Monday morning. But most of all, we went home to family members who believed in us and showered us with encouragement and with praise. We couldn't have made it without that. When we applied to the State Police Academy, we had to show ourselves to be the best cadets. That meant that we had to already possess a character and a demeanor that the average applicant didn't possess. To this, we owe you thanks. We're excited about where we're going, but when we look around at you, our families, we certainly haven't forgotten where we've come from. And to our families who have also prepared us to meet this challenge, we say simply, thank you, we accept. Finally, I wish to address the cadets, or should I say troopers. When we first started through the doors of the academy, we were strangers. As time passed, we learned to depend on each other to accomplish the tasks that were placed before us. And I know now that this was done by design, because I realize that this job cannot be done by someone who is dependent. It can't be done by someone who is independent. If we're to accomplish this task, we have to do it through interdependence. We must depend on each other if we are to survive. And I know today that because of who you are on the inside and because of the uniform that you wear on the outside, I can depend on you. All of us have a family, but today we join another family. Not a family that's dedicated to raising children, but a family that is dedicated to making this state a better place to live for all of our families. I'm proud to be a member of this family. And as we join this family today, we will no longer be civilians. We will be troopers. Ladies and gentlemen, we have taken the oath of office, and we accept the challenge, the responsibility, and the obligation that comes with the title of State Trooper. And as we, the 54th Recruit Class, face the future boldly, we realize that today is not the end of our training, but the beginning of our career. And to all of you who have made this day possible, we simply say, thank you, we accept.
Please come forward for the benediction, please.
Could we stand, please? Men and women of the 54th Recruit Class, the abilities and talents you have are a gift from God. What you choose to do with them will be God's returned gift, the gift you return to Him. Remember your training well. Add to this integrity that comes with discipline, and always remember that you are part of Indiana's finest. And may Almighty God bless you. May Almighty God make His face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May He protect you when you go out and when you return home. May God bless our families. May God heal our land. And may God bless the Indiana State Police.
You should be proud of the accomplishments of these new troopers. With your support, they have the potential for a long and fulfilling career with the Indiana State Police. And remember, as police officers, we hope to uphold the noble tradition of this profession and department as a calling for each one of us toward commitment to duty, to state, to country, and to family. Thank you for attending this graduation ceremony. Families and friends may meet the new troopers at the north end of the rotunda. Please remain standing with withdrawal of the colors and the class.
Training